You got three sophomores and 2 seniors in the starting lineup for the Colorado Rams, and Gillespie, Rice, Miguel, Reese, and Queen. They are the highest scoring starting lineup, but they got the second best college basketball nickname.
The Crab Five. Looking
best.
forward to checking them out for game 2. And for those that don't know, Maryland is known for their seafood, including crab. My favorite.
The ball is tipped in Seattle. And a spot for the Sweet 16 on the line between Colorado State and Maryland. Roger Ayers, Michael Greenstein, and William Covington, your officials here tonight.
Well, Colorado State is going to move this thing from side to side. Maryland wants to pressure, and that's something that cannot happen for the Rams. Maryland can force turnovers.
Unforced turnover by Clifford.
This starting lineup averages the most points per game in the country, almost 70 points per game. At about 68 in that first round matchup, and they turn it over on the first possession.
Nice job by Nick Clifford of opening up on that back screen and picking that pass off.
Crocker Johnson takes the first shot off the glass. Colorado State seeking its first regional semi-appearance in some time.
Great positioning by the lefties. Normally lefties like to post up on the right block. He prefers the left. Great hook.
And there's Derek Queen for 3.
Well,
he's going to open up. That's a problem.
No doubt. He made a couple against Michigan. He made 2 against Purdue, but only 4 of 28 from 3 on the season. Derek Queen's already a problem to guard Jalen, but if he's making that, good luck.
Absolutely, and they say the Queen is the most important piece on the chessboard.
Clifford now with 1,100 points with that bucket in his 2 years at CSU. Started his career at Colorado, made the transfer, in-state transfer from Colorado to Colorado State. And a walking violation and a couple of turnovers here for Maryland.
Memba did a good job of holding his ground against Reese on the back down. And here you see Queen, kind of reminiscent of, you watched the University of Michigan yesterday. Danny Wolf, same thing, a 6'10 player that initiates offense for the team.
How about some of the turnovers here for Maryland? Saw it in the first round against Grand Canyon. A little bit shaky early on. We'll see if Kevin Willard goes back to Julian Reese.
Speaking of shaky, here's another turnover.
Gillespie picks the pocket, steps in way of the passing lane, and gets the 2. Yeah, Maryland started out in that first round almost nervous, to their point that Kevin Willard had admitted, like, look, we got to go Julian Reese's way. They were 1 for 9 and had 4 turnovers in their first few possessions in the first round.
Got to protect that basketball around Gillespie. He was a wide receiver in high school, so you know he got good hands.
Yeah, he picked up some SEC and ACC football offers. There's Lake for 2.
That's going to be there. If they're in that drop coverage, there's a dribble handoff. Jalen Lake played very well in that first round against Memphis. He can shoot the basketball, taking what the defense gives him, and just letting it fly from the mid-range.
Jalen Lake, the only player in school history to make 3 NCAA tournaments. Rice with the pull-up from mid-range. And one of the 3 guard transfers from Maryland here this year. And Robbie, you got some keys to the game. What you got?
Well, for Colorado State, certainly the improved rebounding in the second half against the Memphis Tigers, a big deal. You see the numbers, -10 in the first, +3 in the second. And then for Maryland, we've already seen it. This Colorado State offense, they want to move from side to side. They want to play free. They run great action. That pressure can be a real disruptor, and early on it has been.
First personal to Crocker Johnson. And Maryland working out of a baseline, out of bounds set. Look at this, the big man. How about 2 for 2?
I like that driving
kick. He's a 3-point specialist.
Heat check for 3.
Well, why not save it for the biggest games of the year? And in the Big Ten tournament, he knocks down 2. He's got 2 early on here.
He's 6 of 30 for the season, but he's 2 for 2 here tonight.
How about Queen? 1 of 2 players in the NCAA. Other one's Cooper Flagg that leads his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
I mean, Colorado State is thinking, well, we can help off Queen on dribble drives because of his percentage. They're stopping the basketball. Maryland spraying it. Derek Queen, what a start and what a tear he's been on in the postseason. 2 Big Ten tournament games plus an NCAA tournament game, averaging 20 and 9.
Got his 15th double-double. You saw his numbers in the first round against Grand Canyon. And if not for a guy named Cooper Flagg at Duke, he would be maybe a lock for National Freshman of the Year. Good ball movement for the Rams here on this possession, and Lake brings it home from deep.
Terrific concentration and follow-through by Lake. Lake contest by Reese, still knocks it down.
I love the pin down action for Lake right there. Maryland getting a little bit lost. Jalen Lake getting it done early in this game.
Reese was calling for it on the post. They work it around to the second side instead. Driving baseline, staying vertical. Bemba forces that tough shot in the turnover. Another deep one. Lake goes back to back. Jalen Lake soaking it in.
And he'd been hot from three coming in, was 6 of his last 13 from the three-point line. Colorado State getting a stop and being opportunistic, getting out in the open floor.
I see you, namesake, out there knocking down threes.
He's got the last 8 points. It'll stay Maryland basketball.
Great defense by Colorado State. Playing without fouling, going straight up with the rejection. And this is how you convert defense into offense. Clifford does a great job of finding a hot guy, Lake, for 3.
But certainly the rebounding battle is going to be the game. And if you're talking about from a Maryland perspective, you keep the possession. They got to get Rodney Rice going. Since that quarterfinal game against Illinois, has not shot the ball well.
And right on cue, Rice takes a shot with an air ball look.
You're exactly right, Rod.
Rice tries to save it on the baseline. It'll be Colorado State basketball. When we come back, it'll be our first time out, our under 16. Colorado State, the number 12 seed, leading number 4 Maryland.
Well, we've talked so much about how this Maryland roster is a veteran college basketball roster. In fact, they have played a combined 920 college basketball games, but here is the catch. Of active players, there's only been 5 games in the NCAA tournament, and only 1 starter has played in the NCAA tournament before this weekend. That was Julian Reese. He played 2. So think about that. 2 games out of 920 active games in the NCAA tournament. That kind of explains some of this jitteriness the first 2 games, and also why some of these transfers wanted to play for Maryland.
Crocker Johnson, that's the first miss for Colorado State. Yeah, 13 of the 15 on the roster. Not have NCAA experience here from Maryland. It's one of the reasons why they had to rely on Julian Reese early in that first round matchup. I'm surprised, though, a little bit of the nerves and a little bit of the sloppiness here in game number 2 after how well Maryland recovered in game number 1. And there's another turnover, make it 3 for the Terps.
Well, you'd think that they had settled in. You know, now you've kind of gotten the jitters out. You got a game under your belt. You blast Grand Canyon, but it's kind of been a little bit of the same thing. And instead of Julian Reese calming Maryland down, it's more been Derek Queen with his 3-point shooting in this one.
Yeah, 6 threes on the year for Queen. A couple of them against Penn State, a couple of them against Michigan in the Big Ten tournament, and then a couple tonight. And it's not like Colorado State. You see, they got a couple of turnovers too, so it's not like the Rams have played perfect basketball. Evans driving, and it's Reese clearing.
The defense by Geronimo there with his athleticism and length. He can be a factor on the offensive glass and both as a defender.
And Geronimo is one of those players with NCAA tournament experience when he played 3 years at Indiana. Here's Miguel. Pulls up from mid-range.
Well, Maryland's had some wild misses here.
Miguel was terrific in the previous game. He was 3 for 3 from 3.
Yeah, but Maryland's 3 of 8 here to begin with. Colorado State comes in with an 11-game win streak, one of the hottest teams in the NCAA tournament coming into the postseason. Here's Nate Clifford, the best player for the Rams, and Colorado State gets another look at it. They can't make good on it. That's Ethan Morton off the bench, the Purdue transfer, providing that second chance opportunity.
Got to check him out. He's one of those role guys. Good cutter, gets to the offensive glass.
And just like in the previous game, if you Maryland, get the ball to Julius Reese on the paint to try to settle your offense down.
Rice penetrating, gets stopped, forced to kick out. Now 11 seconds on the shot clock. Tight defense there by Bowen Bourne. And the pull from Gillespie, that's not there.
Good defense. Colorado State locking in and now looking to get out in the open floor.
Yeah, not wasting any time. Count it. Body bucket and 1 for Bourne. Bourne again on that play.
Starts with the defense, as you mentioned, Robbie. They did a terrific job.
Just locking in. How about Nate Clifford, though, with the vision there, Jalen? Looking up the floor, you're not pounding the air out of it. You're advancing the ball up. Maryland late getting back. Bowen Bourne, the scoop with the left.
And that's exactly what you do against a team that has a size advantage. You get out in transition, you hopefully beat them up the floor and get opportunities like that.
Even though Colorado State runs great half-court offense, they're going to be opportunistic. You know, their pace is in the 170s, so they will look to get out and go when the chances are there.
And you need to, because you don't want to always play against Maryland's set defense. Let's see if Maryland can get Reese on a post-up. Oh, he just got taken out.
Here's Rice, who's using the clean screen. Geronimo, a handoff to Gillespie. Drives, there's a lob play for Geronimo. And maybe that gets the Terps going.
anytime that weak side is cleared out, and that's open side, essentially pick and roll right there. If you're not the strong side low man, if you're not helping early, it's going to be a layup or a dunk.
Maryland extending their D. I love the pace that Colorado State is running their offense. Passing, moving, cutting, getting good shots, just like that one.
With 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, it's a great drive, but Joppa makes the play because he ducks in on his man and just totally clears out to get Nate Clifford downhill.
Catch and shoot for Rice, in and out. This is a Maryland team that already set the single season record for threes. They're going to try to hunt them down. They're 2 for 5 tonight. Bourne with the backdoor, beautiful play and set from Colorado State.
They run good stuff.
Yes.
You know, that mixture of the spread, you get some John Beeline with some of the Princeton stuff that he used to run. Nico Medved, he can carve you up. That ball's going to move side to side.
And part of a 12-2 run. Here's Queen, gets it knocked away. It'll stay Maryland basketball. And another timeout. And Colorado State has built an 8-point advantage. It's the largest lead of the game.
A 12-2 run over the last 5 minutes. Colorado State 3 of their last 3. Maryland struggling. How about the Rams getting it going early on?
Kevin, what must you do to tighten up defensively?
Yeah, we're scrambling a little bit too much. We're getting overextended a little bit in the middle of the floor where we didn't want to get overextended. We want to overextend on the wings, on their wide pins. But we just got to take care of ourselves offensively. We got to get the basketball inside, take our time. You know, we knew they were going to come in, they run a lot of stuff. Just got to get the basketball inside.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Andrew.
We asked Kevin Willard yesterday at practice what concerns you about Colorado State. He said like the 39 different plays that they run offensively, it's kept me up at night. It's like counting sheep. Play number 37, play number 38, play number 39, and then finally I fall asleep.
No surprise to see Maryland try to go inside. Now, Colorado State's going to bring multiple bodies, but Derek Queen with 6 of the 10 points. They've been both from the three-point line. Julian Reese doesn't even have a field goal attempt yet. They've got to pound that thing inside and use that size advantage.
Yeah, an unusual way for Maryland to score, to your point. Yeah, 8 of the 10 points. You got 6 points from Queen with his threes, and then 2 off the bench from Geronimo. Not a high bench scoring team, Maryland. They rely heavily on their starting 5. Here's Reese with the touch and the quick kick out. How about Queen going for another one?
Another 3. I mean, you got Reese right at the rim. I just think he's got to take that thing, be strong, and go right up with it.
Nate Clifford directing traffic. NBA talent has their eyes on him. The way he's risen here at Colorado State, there's Williams for 2.
A simple dribble handoff at the elbow. That's great offense by Colorado State, but if you're Maryland, you got to contest that a lot better.
That guard's got to get over on the dribble handoff. Keyshawn Williams, though, didn't score, only played 3 minutes against Memphis, but he's a guy that on the season has been uber efficient, even in low minutes. 45 from the field, 46 from 3 in Mountain West play. And this is what you're talking about, Jill. That's the drop coverage, but Gillespie's getting picked off, and now you're letting it go.
And if you notice, whether it's a high pick and roll or a dribble handoff, they're putting Reese in a lot of that action. So as you mentioned, if he's going to do a drop coverage, they have an opportunity to get an open shot.
And guys, 2 on Rashawn Bemba, which is huge. So he sits out. We were talking to Nico Medved yesterday. Does he have a minute restriction? Because he hasn't been playing healthy all season long. And he said this, that sometimes he gets himself into foul trouble. So he puts his own minute restriction on him sometimes. But that's huge defensively for Colorado State.
Bemba gave him a big spark to start the second half against Memphis.
Here's Reese, who gets smothered in traffic. Green jerseys all around him.
Graham's doing a great job of making Reese play in a crowd.
It's a 10-point advantage, largest lead of the game. Williams, who has the last bucket for Colorado State, stopped on his drive. Here's Bourne, the 5th-year player, and the kick out. Corner shot not there from Crocker
Great
Johnson.
rebound.
Crocker Johnson's going to get another crack at it, and blocked by Queen, who's got a block in the last 9 games for Maryland. Miguel penetrating. Clifford, change of direction, off the glass, can't get it. It rimmed out.
And Maryland is going to need more from their guards. You know, Jacoby Gillespie, Rodney Rice, Selton Miguel have been good all year long. Here's what you talked about, Jalen, playing in the crowd. There is all these defenders around Julian Reese. Derek
Queen can do a little bit of everything. Talented player out of Baltimore. And we got another talented player. There's Clifford at the foul line. He's been real aggressive. Accumulated a lot of free throw attempts in the Mountain West tournament and in the round number 1 as well.
And if you're Maryland, you have to make a conscious effort to get the basketball inside, whether it's a high-low action with Queen and Reese or it's just a direct post-up. In particular, because Rice is struggling, he's 0 for 4 from the floor. He was 3 for 11 in the previous game.
Well, and Jalen, I like post-ups in the middle of the floor because Colorado State has shown they're going to bring the post double. If you just throw it in on the block, that double's coming. But if you go high-low, you post them in the middle, there's no weak side, harder to double team.
Kevin Willard directing traffic. Maryland is empty on 8 of the last 9 possessions. Here's Harris Smith, who had a season high in the last game, drops it off to Queen for his first 2 of the night.
But it's in the middle of the floor. It's a pick and roll, but you're getting it to where that double team cannot come over.
And Queen with his 2 3-pointers, plus that one, he's got 8 here for the night.
Maryland was struggling with their man-to-man defense. Now they go 2-3 zone.
Evans proving high off the glass. What a difficult shot to make.
Bank is open even on Sundays.
I like Kevin Willard mixing and matching there, just trying to find something. But what a shot from Kyan Evans.
Harris Smith again to Queen. The up fake. And Queen. He's got all the moves, doesn't he?
Great patience, versatility with the runner.
What's amazing with Queen's percentage as a perimeter shooter, how many players go for his shot fake? You know, it's not like he's shooting 40% from 3, and you see it all the time. Defenders biting.
Well, certainly rising to the challenge in just his second NCAA tournament game, and Queen rips down the rebound.
And Maryland is forcing a lot of mid-range jumpers here. Early on, Colorado State made them, but certainly playing the percentages that's going to drop.
Reese has only taken the 1 shot, and that's his first points.
Lefties prefer to turn over the right shoulder. Nice running hook by Reese.
Reese, one of the seniors here on this team. Top 35 in the nation in terms of rebounding.
So if you CSU, you want to get the basketball in the middle of the floor against the zone.
Now 9 to shoot.
Now drop man.
Evans gives it up to Jorgensen, to Williams. Too strong. It's Crocker Johnson gets the rebound.
Rams just out hustling Maryland for loose balls, getting deflections, doing a terrific job.
That's 4 offensive rebounds early on for a team that's 273rd in offensive rebound percentage.
And Williams running right into traffic. Crocker Johnson still battling for it. It'll be Colorado State basketball.
Kyan Evans, that shot clock getting down to around 10. The 2-3 zone kind of taking away some of that movement. Just a big-time shot. And Derek Queen putting the brakes on, little Euro step. That is high level. He's shown off even early on. We're 12 minutes in. We've seen the perimeter jumper. We've seen in the post. We've seen just about everything from Queen early.
Here's Clifford off balance. Had to put it up with the shot clock winding down. And Clifford now 2 for 5 here from the field. The Mountain West Player of the Year. Averaging career highs in rebounds, points, and assists right now for the Rams, and he's got a block. Maryland stays with it, though. 12 seconds on the shot clock. A block and a deflection. 8 to shoot. Bryce, good up fake. The 3-pointer on the way, knocks it down. Timeout, Colorado State. The Terps are on the run now.
Rams doing exactly what you should do against a team that's superior in size. Get ball movement, player movement, swing the basketball from side to side, easy down screen, knocks down the 3-point shot. Here you get the ball mid-post, backdoor cut for the layup, making the Terrapins really work defensively.
The Rams had a big 16-2 run to start this game. Their largest lead has been 12, and that's been followed by a Maryland answer 7-0 going into this timeout.
Well, Colorado State going to have to figure out this 2-3 zone because it certainly has stifled their offense some. Rodney Rice gets it going. He was 2 of his last 13 from 3, so big for him to see that go down before the break.
Lake has been good, but he barely grazes the rim on that shot. Maryland's turn to try to cut more into this lead. Again, they trail by as many as 12. 9 to shoot. Miguel pulls, and another three-pointer for the Terps.
It's amazing to see where Selton Miguel has come from where he started as a shooter at Kansas State, really worked on it over the course of his career, and he has had a monster year shooting the ball, 43% from three in conference play.
Clifford driving, challenging Reese, and the putback is there. Never gave up on the play.
Quick jump, second effort by Clifford.
You don't see too many guys knock Julian Reese back like that. I mean, that was a powerful dribble drive.
Remember, Clifford only had 5 points in the first half in that first round. He's got 8 already here tonight. Looking more like that Mountain West Player of the Year. Corner shot, checks his feet. Geronimo in and out.
Colorado State going to be okay to let him shoot. Now 2 of 8 from 3 on the year.
Lake stopped dead in his tracks. Here's Rice defending Clifford. 9 to shoot, that double team coming. Maryland worked on that at practice. They've locked him up. Gets it to Crocker Johnson for 3. And Reese comes down with it.
You love Julian Reese pursuing that rebound outside of his area. Looked like it could have been a second chance opportunity, and he shut it down.
And frees up Gillespie, drops it in, looking for Geronimo. A kick ball. It'll stay here, Maryland basketball.
Well, Nick Clifford, he is getting right to the chest of Julian Reese. Reese gets knocked back. Clifford staying in the play. Colorado State trying to stay with their offense.
Nico, during that 16-2 run that you guys had, what made your offense so effective?
I mean, I think it started with our defense. I mean, I think we were out, we were getting stops, and so we were able to get after it, get into our offense quickly. I thought our guys did a great job of not trying to figure out what they were in, just playing our game, our motion game, moving and cutting. So I thought the guys did a beautiful job, and they're a great team. They came back. They've done a better job of attacking the paint, so we got to sure up the lane a little bit better here.
Thanks, Nico.
Thank you.
It's fitting that he talked about defense. I mean, in this 11-game win streak, their defense is holding opponents to about 62 points per game. Remember, this is a Colorado State team that had to win their conference tournament to get to the NCAA tournament. They were on the bubble all season long, and Nico Medved said we never paid attention to the bracketology. It was like, do or die all of January and February. Here's Reese with the back down and the turnaround, and he's hit his last couple of shots now.
Well, Colorado State just digging. No post double ever shows up there. And when Julian Reese can get to his right shoulder, that left jump hook, that's going to be very difficult for the undersized Rams to guard.
Missed his first shot. He's hit his last couple. And Reese now with 4 points to go with 5 rebounds to tally 1,000 in his career as a Maryland Terrapin. To Morton, who drives and hangs. Look at that.
That's terrific offense by the Rams, but defensively, if you're Maryland, that's just way too easy, allowing them to get into the paint for the easy cinnamon roll.
Did he learn that in West Lafayette?
He's always been a good cutter. That's what Ethan Morton does.
And the tip-in is good for Maryland, and another one there for Reese. Getting active offensively.
I think for Maryland, it's got to be in the paint. It's got to be offensive rebounds. It's got to be looks at the rim. Japa's hurt.
Yeah, got tangled up, and he's holding that right wrist. Fell down on it awkwardly. Nikola Japa, a transfer out of Long Island. He's a sophomore. Actually has played for the Serbian national team, but you see how much he's hurting with that right hand.
Well, with Bemba in foul trouble, that's a big loss right there because Japa does have size. He just kind of gets tripped up on Selton Miguel as he's trying to make his way down the floor. You do have Kyle Jorgensen at 6'9", but with Maryland so big with Reese and Queen, that's a big development.
And they're taking Japa back to the locker room. That's how serious that is. Clifford thought about it. Gives it back to Evans. He had 6 of those in the first round, and Evans has his first tonight.
And if you want a team to get out of that zone, you shoot it from where it says March Madness.
How about Kyan Evans? Now 23 of his last 37 from 3. That's a ridiculous 62%.
He's been a flamethrower.
That's a great math by you, Purdue grad.
Well, the Big Ten.
The shot is waved off there for Queen. Carry the one, Divide by 2, 62%. He's hot. Yeah, also speaking of the SEC, Florida taking care of the two-time champs UConn. And Robbie, how about the job that Arkansas has done beating Kansas and St. John's?
From starting 0-5 in SEC play, certainly John Calipari deserves a lot of credit for keeping that group together, especially without Adu Thiero, one of their best players. Just the job he's done, unbelievable.
Calipari has done a terrific job with that program. However, the legend, Rick Pitino, it was head-scratching that you benched your best player, R.J. Lewis.
Player of the year.
The last 4 minutes of the game. I know he was 3 for 17, and I know he played 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure fans of the Red Storm woke up this morning and were not happy with that decision. It was head-scratching to me as well.
Oh, boy.
Look at this.
That could be...
Clifford with that errant elbow on Geronimo.
I'm shocked they're not taking a look at that.
And that right there, Lisa, is exactly why I don't play basketball anymore. I do not want another adult elbowing me in my face.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Miguel has to pull, leaves it short. And never hit the shot clock. And the fourth turnover here for Maryland. And look at that reaction from Kevin Willard.
I'm surprised, though, that Jordan Geronimo didn't go to the officials or to Kevin Willard and say, we need to review this, because, you know, Nick Clifford kind of looks at him, that elbow, that would have been incredibly interesting to see what would have happened.
Rams doing a great job playing defense without fouling. 0 free throw attempts for the Terps.
Here's Evans. He had that deep three-pointer a couple of possessions ago. And Morton, that was a little bit too high of a pass. 3 turnovers now for Colorado State.
Evans just got to take his time and make a play. Queen switches out at you. Gather yourself, make the pass, get the open shot in the corner for 3.
I love that they were up there on Kyan Evans. You know he's coming off, he's looking to pull. A really good shooter from 3 off the bounce. They were up, they took it away, and they forced that skip pass.
He's high on the scouting report, coming off a career-high 23 points, a career-high 6 3-point makes. Inside the three-point line, Reese trying to battle for that offensive rebound. They let him play on.
Not Bowen Bourne, though. Selton Miguel was in play for that, and Bourne just tracked it down.
Crocker Johnson hasn't found a lot of success there from up top. Morton gets another chance there for Colorado State. Crocker Johnson drives and gets the 2. Gillespie.
But that was going to be a layup, and
Yeah,
Maryland took a timeout.
it was going to be a layup, but Kevin Willard ended that transition opportunity for his own team, called the timeout. 33-26 your score. Well, Nick Clifford took an elbow to Jordan Geronimo, and it was not reviewed. And let's bring in our rules analyst, Gene Sterator. What's your opinion on this, Gene?
Lisa, I think this is a definite flagrant 1 foul for this contact with the elbow parallel to the floor and that blow. I quite honestly think if you take a look at this, that with that action right there, it also, to me, can get into the category of flagrant 2. I'm very surprised, naturally and unfortunately, that the officials on the court don't see that. But there's an alternate over there, too, that can look at this and rewind because of players on the court that could have potentially helped as well. But definitely a flagrant 1, Lise.
Thank you, Gene. Nick Clifford with no fouls to his name here tonight as well. 5 turnovers now for Maryland, though, coming out of that timeout. Remember, they could have had that, maybe that lay-in on that transition opportunity. Here's Reese with another rebound. 1,000 and counting here for Reese. He's got 7 rebounds here tonight. Pull up for Gillespie. It's a deep one, in and out. Clifford cutting across the lane. This is his sweet spot right in there, and you can see why off the glass.
Using his size as a perimeter player, turning over the left shoulder with the bank shot. That's just a great cut, but that's also, again, that's just way too easy if you're the Terps giving up that position.
And no physicality for Nick Clifford cutting right to the lane.
How about that drive, though, by Queen? He's got 12.
His size and his versatility and skill level is just off the charts. He's a terrific talent.
Maryland needs their guards to step up and play the way they have all season long. Queen's done his part. Reese has started to get it going, but the backcourt has got to factor in.
Clifford gets it knocked away from Gillespie. And forcing another turnover, those quick hands.
They just stayed in the play there, Lisa. He never gave up on it, was beat early on, but Gillespie using that quickness to get the back tap.
Gillespie turning the corner and forcing the issue against Crocker Johnson for 2.
We said the guards have got to factor in, and that's a good sequence there for Jacoby Gillespie. Get a stop on one end, get to the rim on the other.
Shot clock not in play. See the 2-point to 3-point differential for Colorado State in this first half. 5-point advantage. Colorado State has led for a majority of this first half, the number 12 seed. Here's Clifford splitting the difference. Reese was challenging, and Clifford, a tough 2 to get. It'll be the final bucket of the first half, and it's a beauty.
Terrific slash and drive by Clifford to close the half with the left hand.
Well, what a first half he had. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, just getting downhill. Reese is challenging, but just doesn't matter. What a finish there. Colorado State, terrific first half for them.
And Nick Clifford's parents loving that. Sporting the number 10 jersey, and number 10 has slid over to Andy Katz for a conversation. Andy.
All right, Nick, first off, how do you explain how effective you guys have been to get this 7-point lead?
Man, I think it's just on our defense and rebounding. That's the keys to the game. We got to keep doing that.
A couple possessions ago, when you were clearing out, Geronimo was right there. Did you feel any contact when you hit him?
Yeah, I didn't mean to get him on that. I apologized to him and said my bad, because I ain't trying to hurt nobody.
Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, Nick Clifford with 12 points, 5 of 9 from the field. Coming up on AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. It's interesting, there's been 6 different lead changes, but look at how much time. Colorado State has led 18 minutes here in the first half. They have taken control and dominated here in the first half. Lisa Byington, Jalen Rose, and Robbie Hummel with you. Andy Katz on the sideline for us. Nick Clifford has been a big reason Colorado State has found success in the first half.
Well, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and honestly, a big no call on that elbow. That looms large because Nick Clifford is the best player on this Colorado State roster. Now, as for the Rams, they did their job rebounding. 15-13 advantage for them on the glass. We'll see if Maryland early on here, Jalen goes inside and gets on the offensive boards.
Clifford with his 12 points. He needs 17 to have the best single season scoring year in the history of Colorado State basketball. A miss on the first possession for Maryland.
Smaller basketball team, Colorado State continues to dominate the boards.
Well, they told us yesterday at practice, the rebounding battle, it can't be like it was in the first half against Memphis, and it hasn't been. They have done their job on that end.
Clifford so good in the mid-range. It's something that he's added to his game this year.
Loves that jump stop turnaround jumper, just very comfortable operating in that mid-range area. 44% this year on shots off the bounce.
Robbie, Maryland got to get their backcourt going. 5 total points, 2 for 10 from the floor.
No doubt. They've got to find a way. These guys have done it all season long.
Rice gives it right back to Queen, but it gets knocked away. 6 turnovers for Maryland. And the Rams are on the move. Quick ball movement. Lake had a good start to the first half, misses that shot.
He got a great look right there. Really good ball movement.
Gillespie to Rice, a little stutter step right, and his toe was just behind the three-point line. They're going to take a look at that, the next bed ball.
But there it is, Jalen. They've got to get, Rodney Rice is very capable. So is Gillespie, so is Miguel. But they need these guys to start being aggressive and looking for their shots.
They ruled it a three-pointer on the floor for Rice, but again, they'll take a look at it. It was close.
Got the switch here.
Crocker Johnson's got the height advantage. Quick skip pass. Here's Evans who pulls and hits from up top.
Great cross-court pass by Crocker Johnson with the hockey assist for the 3 up top.
Evans 8 points, 2 for 2 from 3, where he had that career-high 6 3-pointers in the first round.
Oh, good help there.
And probably the stat of the game so far. The Rams doing a great job of playing without fouling. 0 free throw attempts for the Terps so far.
Look at just the vision here across the floor. You've got the floor spread out, and this thing is just going to be a rocket across the floor. Now you get the extra pass, and Kyan Evans continues to scorch from downtown.
Let's check in with Andy Katz.
And that last play on that last possession is a great example of what Kevin Willard told me walking back here. He says that Colorado State has been much more aggressive than we were in that first half. We've got to be much more aggressive in this second half. Look for the shots, and he did say that his younger rookie guards, and he means that in terms of NCAA tournament experience, we're playing like younger rookie guards, not being aggressive. What you just saw just right there, that's them being aggressive, and that's what he needs them to do.
We had Rice with the 3 on one end here from Maryland. You got Evans with the answer, taking it to the rack on the other end.
The bigs doing their work. Julian Reese, a bone-crushing screen, and then Japa sealing the way.
And Nikola Japa back in. He's got tape on that right wrist where he went back to the locker room to get that looked at in the first half.
You see a great job with the dribble drive up top. You got to do a better job if you Queen. Help him up there, and definitely Reese got sealed on the backside. Easy 2 for the Rams.
Well, if you're Reese, Jalen, you just got to get off that. You can't get buried, and certainly he has seen a ton of physicality all year long in the Big Ten. Got to get around, can't let Japa do that to you.
Queen knew right where he wanted to go. The spin move and the feathery finish. Oh, the freshman's got the touch.
Just don't see many 6'11" dudes that have that type of footwork there.
14 points for Queen to lead Maryland. Here's Japa. See that black tape job on his right wrist. Clifford for 3. Crocker Johnson, another offensive rebound.
And for Clifford, that's an opportunity also to get to the paint and finish it or drop it off. Big time steal.
He tried to drop it off there. It's a turnover instead.
Colorado State has gotten offensive rebounds, but they haven't cashed them in for second chance points. They just haven't been able to find those.
And a foul there on the take on Clifford.
Like Derek Queen, I mean, just putting it on the floor. You got these bigs that aren't used to guarding on the perimeter, the footwork on the spin, the off left hand. That is NBA right there.
And all the NBA scouts are drooling over moves like that. This guy can hit the 3 and do that. One triple pull up, side step there for Gillespie.
We asked for the Maryland backcourt to get going. 3 threes so far in the second half combined.
They are more than capable. I mean, Gillespie, third team all Big Ten, big time year. Rodney Rice, 37% from 3. They can get it going.
Gillespie goes down. Lake was penetrating, turns it over. Gillespie now on the move, gives it up to Rice, takes the contact at short.
Oh, what a defensive stand from Nate Clifford.
Continuing to play without fouling.
Evans crosses it over, decides to give it up. Clifford now directing traffic.
Opportunity for Clifford to get a shot right here.
And drops it off to
as I mentioned.
That's a dime from Clifford.
And Reese was caught in the middle. He didn't know if he was going to get out there on Clifford to take away the 3-point shot. He was a little bit hesitant. Great drop for the dunk.
Queen, double, triple team. Gives it out to Reese. Good pump fake. Counted. And one coming for Julian Reese.
Sign us up for the next 15-23 because we're going to have an absolute war. Julian Reese getting it done inside. And you look at the dribble drive here. You've got Nate Clifford dumping it off. Japa finishing it. 3-point game. We are in for a good one here.
All right, Jamie, thank you. So it's the 2 versus 6 matchup. You see Wisconsin losing. One of, 3 Big Ten teams losing here today. Illinois, UCLA. We got MSU playing a little bit later. Maryland's trailing in this one. That's after the Big Ten started 10-0 in the NCAA tournament. It's a 2-point game here between Colorado State and Maryland. The first meeting between these two schools, and Gillespie guilty of the foul, his first.
I like the pressure, though. You're trying to push Colorado State's offense. That thing's trying to move side to side. The pressure can negate that. They had them at the March Madness logo. We'll see if Maryland keeps that up.
We played only 5 minutes, really, in the second half. It feels like we played like 15 minutes with the intensity of this game between these two schools. A spot with the Sweet 16's on the line. Clifford with the miss, but the tip out to Lake. He can't get it. Miguel pulls it down.
It's another offensive rebound where you don't get points off it. It's been a story all game long for the Rams.
9 offensive rebounds for Colorado State. You mentioned it, Robbie, not necessarily a category that they excel in this year.
And if you're Maryland, you want to get the basketball inside. As long as the points in the paint are even, advantage to me overall is going to be CSU.
Reese, there's that physicality, but it rims out. He had a good look at it, couldn't put it away.
Right track, wrong train.
They need to go right back to it, Jalen.
Morton skip pass. Clifford can't get the finish. Draws the foul, though, on Harris Smith, his second.
Ethan Morton's stat line isn't going to blow you away. 2 points, 3 rebounds, but he's been active on the offensive glass. We've seen him as an active cutter. Here, finding Nick Clifford. He just makes winning plays across the board.
Nick Clifford to the free throw line. Just an interesting story for Clifford. I mentioned that he started his career at Colorado. Colorado State was always recruiting him hard out of high school. He was a Colorado Player of the Year. Misses that free throw. When he went into the portal, Niko Medved said, obviously he was a priority for us. We always had a vision that he could be what he is right now, a pro-level player. And they never burned a bridge with him.
But that's just recruiting now. I mean, you're never going to burn the bridge. You know that it can always come back, and with the portal, it can come back pretty quickly.
And there's always 2 words in the NIL era that help a burning bridge.
What's that?
How much?
Good switch there.
Yeah, very few free throws. You can see that graphic popping up. Maryland's only had the 1 attempt by Julian Reese. Rice pulls inside the three-point line. That's a dangerous play with Bourne down on the deck, and he picks up his first. And thankfully, both players get up, and it looks like they're both okay. Rodney Rice, his averages, he gets about just under 14 points per game here this year. Makes good on the first. Watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. You can download it now. Gillespie, Rice, Miguel, the 3 guard transfers that Kevin Willard picked up to pair with. He knew Derek Queen was coming. He knew he already had Julian Reese, and they have, the 3 of them have been the perfect match for this Maryland team here this year. This is the closest it's been since it was 9-8 in the first half. Evans from deep. One of his rare 3-point misses. Queen with an important rebound for Maryland.
Reese running the floor.
An opportunity to take the lead. Their last lead was 17 minutes in the first half. Count it! Oh, what a big bucket for Rice, who's suddenly come alive for the Terps.
His struggles have been well documented. Came into the game 6 of his last 20 from the field, 2 of his last 11 from 3. Missed his first 4 shots, but he's found a surge of confidence here, and you foul him twice on a jump shot. This time he gets this one to go. All of a sudden, Jalen, Rodney Rice is out here cooking.
And that's the cardinal rule. It's one thing for him to make the jump shot, it's another one to foul him. And as you mentioned, that's the second time that has happened.
Maryland has only led for 1 minute and 10 seconds, including this time. And Rice has got 8 in this half. Crocker Johnson misses long. Evans with another offensive rebound. 10 offensive rebounds for Colorado State. Gives it up to Crocker Johnson. And an and one back the other way for the Rams.
And for Crocker Johnson, that's what the team wants to see him operating. At the 3-point line right now, it seems like he's open, but he's open for a reason. Great job and drop. Playing through contact, bucket, and the foul.
And Queen got hit in the mouth on this play. Check it out.
He did get popped there by Crocker Johnson. The thing that is, though, that's now 10 offensive rebounds for Colorado State. We mentioned the number earlier, 273rd in offensive rebound percentage in college basketball. They haven't necessarily cashed all the opportunities in, but right there, Kyan Evans, what a pass to get it done.
10 offensive rebounds, only 7 second chance points tonight. Rice behind the back. He's had the hot hand for the Terps. He gives it up to Miguel from straight away. And the Terps are hot from 3 again.
Well, Julian Reese set a heck of a screen there to free up Selton Miguel.
Great pressure release by Crocker Johnson. you CSU, you want to get it to Clifford, get him a high pick and roll action if possible.
Bourne penetrating. Decides to put it up. Oh.
Or how about the smallest guy on the floor in the lane?
The lefty found space and knocked it down in the paint.
He's a transfer from Northern Iowa, but no stranger to scoring. He's averaged double figures there 3 of his 4 years before transferring to Colorado State this year.
But with Maryland's decided size advantage, if the rebound battle and the points in the paint battles are going to be even, for me, that's advantage CSU.
8 seconds. Gillespie now penetrating, takes the contact, was playing for the foul call that he didn't get.
Oh, what a
sees
find.
Bourne. There's the 2 fifth-year transfers connecting on that play.
Ethan Morton across his body, and Bowen Bourne standing at 5'11" with back-to-back buckets in the paint.
Those 2 guys, part of the key. Nico Medved had said they are unselfish, 5th-year guys who don't mind coming off the bench. Morton trying to draw the offensive foul. Queen stays with it, tips it to himself, trying once again. The ball is loose. And it will stay Maryland basketball. Evans stepped on the sideline. Take a breath. It's a 2-point game here in the West region.
You got Ethan Morton just dropping an absolute dime to Bowen Bourne. How about Bourne getting downhill? If you're going to jump stop, you give yourself options. Little fadeaway jumper, that's looking smooth. The bench coming up big for the Rams.
In the last timeout, Derek Queen had a conversation with official Roger Ayers that was extended quite some time.
Well, he felt like he had been fouled, and certainly there was a lot of contact that was let go. I thought Jacoby Gillespie was certainly fouled on an earlier dribble drive, but this conversation extended well into that timeout.
Well, the Terps bigs a little frustrated. Only 1 free throw attempt combined.
Man.
How about that deep shot?
That's one way, like Jalen said, you want to beat the zone. You can certainly just shoot over the top, and that's what Miguel did right there.
5 of 6 from 3 this half. Rashawn Bemba is in the game here for Colorado. Miguel steps in the passing lane and a one-handed hammer for the Terps. Rashawn Bemba is in, touching the ball here right now for Colorado State. Andy Katz had said that Colorado State had listed him as questionable with a back injury. So obviously not playing 100% here the rest of the way. Bourne steps it back, and it was tipped in. Morton's gonna say, that's my bucket.
How did he get that to go? But Ethan Morton has done winning things all game long, so no surprise to see him shoot in and make that happen.
Terrific hustle play.
Somewhere produced Matt Painter is smiling. Miguel off the mark that time. He's got the last 5 points for Maryland. Clifford turns the corner. Oh! Jamming it home.
He might have gotten away there. That off arm, he certainly was aggressive with it, but Nick Clifford showing off the strength to the rim.
Terrific 3-level score.
A 3-ball for Gillespie.
I would have liked to see Gillespie get it back to Reese on a repost, especially going against Bama, dealing with a bad back.
And Clifford now with the ball, 17 points. Steps it back for 3. He'd been 0 for 9, now 0 for his last 10 from 3.
Bemba's looking, he's really moving gingerly out there. Maryland's got to go right at him, Jalen.
Right now he's guarding Reese.
Especially with Queen out of the game, I'd love to see the Terps get the ball inside the Reese.
Give him some space. And a foul there on the floor. Reese went down, was battling for the offensive rebound. It'll be a foul on Colorado State.
Well, yeah, Nick Clifford getting away with that. That's definitely a hook right there. It's an impressive finish at the rim, and if you're going to have Reese coming over, you better go to dunk it, but that should have been an offensive foul.
And with that dunk, Nick Clifford, 677 points, the most in the single season history for Colorado State, the greatest scoring year that this program has ever seen.
That's a wild shot from Queen, a little out of sorts here.
Well, it was an opportunity to throw a lob.
Totally.
And he got caught in between and didn't do it.
Good point.
Morton's looking for his. Drops it off.
That's got to be 3 seconds. I mean, they've been in there forever.
Jorgensen gets smothered by Geronimo. Now 8 to shoot. Bourne penetrating in traffic, hangs and hoops. That's the Northern Iowa Bowen Bourne.
He is having an unbelievable game at the rim. Certainly known as a shooter. He's got 243s in his career, but it's been about getting to the basket for Bowen Bourne tonight. That's the smallest guy, 5'11", 170 pounds, just finding a way. Jordan Geronimo coming over, doesn't matter. Colorado State finding a way with their bench here. And on the season, they average 19 a game. They're about there, 18-2 in bench points. It's been Bowen Bourne, it's been Ethan Morton, it's been Keyshawn Williams. Those guys have come to play here. Bourne making things happen, Ethan Morton too. Those guys with big-time plays as we make our way to winning time.
18-2 bench point advantage. Nate Clifford with the reach-in. And let's check in with Andy Katz.
And this is a great example of never burning bridges. Ali Farokhmanesh, the assistant for Colorado State, had maybe the biggest shot ever in Northern Iowa history. His coach, Ben Jacobson. Who is Bourne's coach, or was? Ben Jacobson. That UNI connection stayed strong. They were okay with it. Here he is now finishing his career at Colorado State, playing for another UNI legend right there.
How about that? Played at Northern Iowa for 4 years. They said, hey, you know what? This kid's almost scored about 1,500 points in his career. Let's bring him over to Colorado State.
And I think for both those transfers, for Bourne and Ethan Morton, you're transferring thinking, all right, I want to start. Well, that's not how it's worked out, but they've kept their roles. They've played to it, and they've been phenomenal here today.
Late gets the miss, but it finds Clifford. A looky what I found kind of moment for Nate Clifford.
Great toughness and hustle play by Crocker Johnson,
Yes.
keeping that alive. Leads to a free throw opportunity.
13 offensive rebounds for Colorado State. It is something that Maryland still has not been able to fix or figure out tonight.
You just think about the 50-50 winning plays. They are going the way of Colorado State. They've just been a little bit quicker to the ball.
How about a tournament flashback? Andy Katz reliving this moment for Northern Iowa fans.
The thing you have to love about this shot by Farokhmanesh is that you probably should take it out and run clock. And he said, no, I'm going to game Kansas right here.
And the thing I love is not only did he knock down the shot, but he's wearing shorts down to his ankles. I could appreciate that.
That's right.
Well, that was a fashion style that was maybe started by somebody in this broadcast booth, and it's not me and Lisa.
After Jalen Rose's own heart. Julian Reese has now checked back in for Maryland. The handoff to Rice. They quickly whip it to the corner. Rice gets it right back.
Maryland has to be intentional in getting the basketball inside.
And they do that. Here's a mid-post touch for Queen.
3-8 in action. Now you get an open shot.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Air ball didn't hit the rim.
But that is so well defended. Post double comes. Deshaun Harris-Smith's the guy that you want shooting the basketball. 20% from 3 on the year. Great rotation by Colorado State.
And Harris-Smith is hurt. His shooting hand got knocked on that attempt. Maybe one of the reasons for his air ball.
And sometimes your hand hurts even more after you shoot an air ball.
Oh, is that how it happens?
Jeez, what a screen by Crocker Johnson.
Morton penetrating, gives it up. Lake gets another look from 3. And Gillespie, good position that time for the defensive rebound.
He warded off Nate Clifford there. Way to fight by Jacoby Gillespie.
Deshaun Harris-Smith had that season-high 11 points in the first round. He was perfect 5 for 5, hit his only 3-point attempts.
If that ball goes inside, that's who they want to leave. You're going to rotate, you're going to post double. Deshaun Harris-Smith is the guy you don't have to guard.
And Gillespie looking for the 3. Queen tipping to himself. Those soft hands, that soft touch, but he stepped on the baseline. Had the touch on top. Too big of a shoe size. It'll be a turnover for Maryland. Our game summary, it's 62-58. Look at the bench points. Robbie, you've talked about that. And just back and forth. Now still, though, Colorado State has led for 28 minutes and counting in this game.
But it's also the points in the paint. And Jalen, I think, has said so many times tonight, they've got to look inside. But credit Colorado State on limiting those looks. Maryland averages 36 points in the paint per game, which was good for third in the Big Ten. Tonight, only 24. So credit the Rams defense.
Down to crunch time. 6.5 left to play. Gillespie tries to tap it away. Tight defense against Clifford, who fires from 3. Still cold from distance for Nate Clifford. It'll be Maryland basketball.
Great pressure defensively by the Terps.
They've been able to force that half-court offense out towards the midline. It certainly makes life tough on a team that wants to play free and reverse the ball.
Maryland's missed its last 6 field goal attempts. Remember, they started 5 of 6 from 3 this half. They've missed their last 4 attempts. The touch to Reese gives it out to Miguel. And Miguel probing, tosses it up. Reese looking for the offensive rebound, goes into Bemba's hands.
How about the defense throw from Nate Clifford there? He's in to take away the roll. He closes out to Selton Miguel. He guards the basketball through a ball screen. That was a big-time effort.
Good defense there for Maryland to turn Evans away. Now Crocker Johnson knew that was off. The Terps in desperate time for some points in the quarter court.
They got to be intentional about getting the basketball inside.
There's Queen, who takes that bump from Crocker Johnson. His third.
Boy, Nate Clifford, though, that last defensive possession, he's in there to take away the roll. Now you close out, you take Miguel out of rhythm. Here you get over the ball screen. You contest this, you make it a tough one in the mid-range. That is just a fantastic effort right there from Nate Clifford defensively.
And I got some crap from Fab 5 advice. Their bigs, Queen and Reese, need to reintroduce themselves to their guards like Chris Webber and Juwan Howard would do with me at this point of a game. They have to be intentional to get more points in the paint, get more post-ups. Even having that aggression allows the Rams to have to play against their set defense on this end.
I think also with Bemba being a little bit banged up, we'll track that points in the paint number. 24 right now, 5:15 to play. We'll see how many more Maryland can rack up.
Clifford with a handoff back to Bemba. Tough pass to handle, but he does. He gets the 2.
Clifford, a terrific 3-level scorer and playmaker, making teammates around him better. Turning the corner, I think that's going to be the lion's share of their offense as we head down the stretch these last 4+ minutes.
How about the catch from Bemba? I mean, didn't handle it initially, but he finds a way, gathers, and went right up with it.
The Terps, no field goals in the last 7 possessions. Here's Rice looking to change that. Crocker Johnson with the rebound.
Oh, wow.
Now Gillespie, that could be off. It is off Colorado State, a heads-up play.
That's just all effort right there from Jacoby Gillespie. Didn't give up on that play, applied some pressure, and Colorado State makes a mistake. Yeah, that's off the hand of Nate Clifford.
Crocker Johnson subbed out. Ethan Morton back in. Gillespie for 3. Raining threes again in Seattle for Maryland.
That's a mistake, though, from Nate Clifford. The way Jacoby Gillespie shoots at 41% from 3 on the year, you are not going under on that dribble handoff.
10 3-point makes now for the Terps, shooting 44% from back there. And it's a 2-point lead for Colorado State. Clifford takes a peek at the shot clock. 4 on the shot clock to Bemba. It's Queen.
Great rejection by Queen.
And Gillespie's on the move. Finding Rice. We got a tie game at 64.
Some creative footwork there. That could have been a travel. It's a heck of a defensive play from Queen, but Maryland may be catching a break there with some steps.
The Rams offense has to be Clifford at top with the pick and roll action with one of the bigs. They drop it. He's going to get a good shot. He can turn the corner. Here we go.
Clifford mid-range. Gillespie, look at that quick crossover, dumps it up. Reese takes the contact. Bemba fouled him, and Reese will have free throws coming. 3 fouls on Bemba. We will take a timeout. Julian Reese to the free throw line when we come back.
What was going to be a layup. Clifford has found Bemba all second half long. Great help from Derek Queen to fly in here and make a play on it. And in transition, Jacoby Gillespie, he does lose the basketball, but by the time he secures it, man, there's certainly a couple steps in there. Maryland catching a break with the officials, but taking advantage of the defensive stop.
Got away with a walk right there. Maryland doing a great job of converting points off turnovers. 12-2 in this game. Their guards doing a terrific job of creating pressure, especially late.
Julian Reese at the free throw line, a 73% free throw shooter. Made it clear this is my last postseason. I want to make the most of it. Second player in Maryland history with 1,000 career rebounds. I know an older sis, and I know a mother who is proud of that. Both of them really good rebounders. Angel Webb Reese, mom on the left side, and Angel Reese, of course, winning the national championship and playing for the Chicago Sky, the WNBA on the right side.
Well, the Baltimore native has been a bully on the block his entire career. Omar from the Wire will be proud.
3 ties, 13 different lead changes. Maryland has rallied from being 12 down. Clifford nowhere to go, swatted by Miguel.
Selton Miguel blew the play up, then got in a stance and was physical with Nick Clifford.
Gillespie using the re-screen, pocket pass, bingo for the Terps. A 9-0 run.
Great screen roll action, as you've always called for, Robbie, right in the middle of the floor. Get it to the big fella with a can double. He can make his soft jump hook for 2.
But how appropriate to go to your senior when you need points the most.
Evans, the three's not there.
I really would like to see the Rams get Clifford in a high pick and roll action up top with one of the bigs from Maryland. They're dropping the coverage. That's an opportunity for him to either shoot a 3 or get into the paint and create for his teammates or make a mid-range shot.
Bryce looking to take it off the bounce. The floater in and out.
I would have liked to have seen Maryland just go right back to the same play. You just got Julian Reese in that little mid-range area with his left hand. Go right back to it.
Clifford, acceleration, draws the foul. He can get a shot or a free throw, it seems like, when he wants to.
And Clifford's such a great ball handler for his size. Anyone can come set the screen for him. A smaller guy or a bigger guy, it doesn't matter. He still can make a play.
Clifford, 19 points. That's just about at his average. All career highs, about 19, averaging 9 to 10 rebounds. And about 4 assists. From tip-off to the final buzzer, fan work is thirsty work. Refresh from Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? For a guy who averaged about 5.5 points per game in his career at Colorado, he has picked things up at Colorado State and has cut the lead to 2. 96 seconds to a final. Well, the last 4 losses for the Maryland Terrapins have been heartbreakers, basically buzzer beaters. You go back to Nick Martinelli of Northwestern off the glass there, or nothing but net. That's a buzzer beater with no time on. And then Trey Holloman from Michigan State. Just past half court there, or just beyond half court. That was a killer. And then Trey Donaldson going coast to coast here from Michigan in the Big Ten tournament semis.
See what you're doing there, Lisa. See what you're doing there. 2-point game.
That doesn't
136 remaining.
I know, right? They no strangers here to close games and possible close finishes. What Kevin Willard has liked about this team is that after those buzzer beaters, the heartbreakers, they have rallied about 3 to 4 wins after that. He's hoping that's the case here in the NCAA tournament. Gillespie in the lane, leaves it short.
But you know what? Middle pick and roll is where they need to be. Gillespie gets a good shot right there. You got Reese rolling. Now you got to get a stop.
Colorado State trailing by 2. They're one of their last 9 going into this possession. Bemba, handoff to Lake with 6 on the shot clock, pulls and ties it at 68. He's got 10 points.
What a screen, though, from Bemba to free Lake there. Lake, a guy, this is his 124th game of his career at Colorado State, coming up big for Nico Medved.
You got to look at Nico Medved's wife, Erica, who is looking at that last basket. The families and the fans are biting their fingernails. March Madness at its finest in Seattle. Colorado State 68, Maryland 68. Lisa Byington, Jalen Rose, Robbie Hummel, Andy Katz on the sideline. Our game reset. 2 timeouts left for Colorado State. 1 remaining here for Maryland. The possession will go to Colorado State in any jump ball situation. The last time the Rams were in the Sweet 16, it was 1969. They only had to win 1 game to get there. 1975, the tournament expanded to 32 teams. In 85, it expanded to 64.
Middle of the floor pick and roll. Take your pick, Reese or Queen, whoever you want.
Maryland out of the timeout. Gillespie directing traffic. Now 9 on the shot clock. Gillespie inside the lane, gets bumped a little bit, in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Clifford deflects the pass. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Miguel, a desperation off the front of the rim. And Reese with the offensive rebound.
That's just size and physicality right there.
And 4 to Rashawn Bemba.
Julian Reese just pushing him under, and yeah, you can see there Bemba has a hold of the arm.
Give Bemba credit. Earlier in the game, we felt like he was questionable to return with a back injury. He's still out there battling.
And they're going to review the shot clock. And the game clock is at 20.1 here right now. And see, they get the... So there was... It looked like there was time for the shot clock to reset on the offensive rebound. Here's Roger Ayers.
After review, the game clock will be reset to 22.4.
All right, so the game clock from 20.1 to 22.4. A couple of free throws will be coming for Julian Reese with the Terps in the double bonus.
Well, Reese has really worked on his free throws. Not a good free throw shooter in his career, but has put together a nice season from the line, 72%. But these are some of the biggest free throws of his life.
Very important for the Terps. He steps up and knocks down both of these.
And the shot clock still in play.
Great poise by the senior.
This is Nate Clifford's time here.
17 seconds to play in the game. Colorado State traveling by 2. And a timeout.
Good timeout. That pressure by Maryland had totally taken Colorado State out of sorts. Nate Clifford couldn't get a catch. You're heating the ball up. That was a good timeout by Nico Medved.
So one timeout left here for Colorado State, one timeout left here for Maryland. Ooh, this is what's so good about March Madness. Lisa Byington, Jalen Rose, Robbie Hummel with you. What do you expect to see out of this timeout?
Got to do a down screen, get Clifford the basketball up top. Try to see if you can get one of your bigs to come set a screen, give him an opportunity to get a three-point shot or turn the corner, get a mid-range or drop it to one of the teammates or spread out for a jump shot or a three.
You think about, Jalen, the way that they've contested Nick Clifford, especially in the mid-range. Those Maryland bigs, they've committed to contest. We've seen him drop it down to Bemba multiple times, but we do know it's got to be Nick Clifford who's putting the action.
But also when they set the screen, also Maryland will switch it. So now you have Clifford with a big on him with an opportunity to make a play off the dribble.
Does it matter if you go for the win or the tie to you guys?
Best shot.
Yeah, I think if the three is there, you take it. If it's a two that gives you the better look, then that's what it is. And it's just hard on the players. You know, you feel the pressure. It is so much harder on the parents, and you see that look right there.
That was Nick Clifford's dad who couldn't even watch this. He's not even watching the timeout. Someone needs to tell him that live play hasn't happened yet.
And his heart rate's probably at about 215 right now.
They added a little bit of time, so 12 seconds left on the game clock. Remember, Colorado State, if they do go for the win, they are 1 for 11 from 3 this half.
They've had some good looks, and they've honestly been a great three-point shooting team over this 11-game win streak. They've shot 47% from 3 in that stretch.
The game clock has been reset to 12.0. Colorado State ball on the sideline.
Colorado State will have Jalen Crocker-Johnson inbounding it from the sideline. Bemba stays in, Evans stays in. It's Clifford and Lake. Those are the 5 for Colorado State. They get it into the hands of Clifford, trying to back down Miguel. Lake, that's for the lead, gets it! Colorado State up 1! Here comes Maryland, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, calls the final timeout. Clutch for the Rams.
That's what I call clutch. Terrific playmaking and pass by Clifford, but that shot was just big time.
But you think about a guy who's played for 4 seasons at Colorado State, his 124th game. You know, Nico Medved told us yesterday, I sometimes take him for granted. He's so solid. He always comes to work. He always has a great demeanor. And when his number's called, this is just an incredible shot. The contest by Queen, it doesn't matter. What a pass from Nick Clifford, but what a shot by the senior Jalen Lake.
Cold as an igloo.
His first year of his career averaging in double figures. The only player in Colorado State history to make it to 3 NCAA tournaments. You could call him the other senior outside of Nick Clifford, and Dad's reaction is classic.
Well, how about also the fact that Colorado State, Lisa, you said the number, they had struggled from 3 in the second half, but when they needed it most, Jalen Lake with the biggest shot of his life.
They were 1 for 11 from 3 in this second half. I asked you guys, did it matter if you're going for the win or going for the tie? And that was the shot that Colorado State was comfortable with. So what can we expect now from Maryland? Let's flip the script.
Well, you don't have much time. Right now the clock says 3.6, so you've got to get this and go. Have to assume the ball will be in the hands of Gillespie or Rodney Rice. Get it up the floor as quick as you can. You're probably going to, whoever has it, probably is going to have to take the shot because there's just not much time. Now Maryland could throw it to half court. Think about the hook and ladder type Bryce Drew play. But this is where you've been practicing late game situations for the entire season, just in case you run into a situation like this.
Maryland Terrapin fans are wondering, will this happen again? A late game-winning shot moment against the Terps. We've shown you how much they have fallen short with buzzer beaters here this year.
Set to 3.7.
And the game clock is up to 3.7. Get how tough Colorado State has been when leading with 5 minutes or fewer remaining. Maryland needs 1 bucket to keep its season alive. Gillespie from the out of bounds to the freshman Queen, who's driving, floats it. Oh! Maryland on the right side of a buzzer beater with life into the Sweet 16.
Freshman in the crab 5 delivers when it matters the most.
That's where you just say, put the ball in the hands of the most talented dude and let him go and make something happen. Derek Queen, certainly not his best game. He does go for 17 here. Was a little bit frustrated in the first half. They give him the basketball in the middle of the floor. They clear it out. And what a shot, fading away, going glass. Ethan Morton is right there. It's just better offense, and it's such an incredible shot by Queen.
As I mentioned, Queen, the most important piece on the chessboard with the bank shot and the win.
The freshman with the game winner for the Terps. And Maryland is off to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2016, off the shoulders of one of the youngest players on the court who took one of the biggest shots of the tournament.
Well, Queen just finding his spot. It's just one-on-one basketball. The game is on the line. The pressure is at the highest you're going to feel. And that's where it's so euphoric on one end, and it is absolutely crushing on the other.
Andy Katz with a happy Kevin Willard.
Well, Kevin, I covered a couple of those buzzer beaters. Northwestern, Michigan State. What did you just tell me? Maybe without, one of the words.
I think we were finally due for us to have one. I think our last 4 losses have all been buzzer beaters. When Lake shot that shot, I was like, man, that's going in. And I'm like, but we were due to get one. So proud of my team. Colorado State.
You called timeout. You got the best player on the floor, the freshman, who you've said from day one is one of the best players in the country. What did you call?
You know what? I asked everybody. I said, who wants the ball? And he said, give me the MF ball. And I said, all right, you're getting it. And I said, don't mess around. Go after it and do it. And I give him a lot of credit, man. The big dog came up and threw.
All right, let's bring in that big dog from Maryland. A well-deserved hug. Derek, you made a decision to stay home, and you just delivered your state school to the Sweet 16. How often did you script what we just witnessed?
I mean, I couldn't do it without my team. Like, we was down, and then Jude, Jordan, Selton, all the seniors, so we didn't want them to want this to be that last game, so we just kept fighting, and coaches and my teammates trusted me to take that last shot.
There was a timeout. You said, I'm not going to say the full thing, but you said, get me the ball when you came out of the timeout. Where does that confidence come from?
I mean, so I think I'm from Baltimore, that's why. And then I kind of had it going all game. Me and my teammates had it going, and like I said, like they trusted me to take that last shot.
Congratulations, you're off to San Francisco in the Sweet 16.
Yes, sir, thank you. Thank you.
From Baltimore, that's where that confidence comes from. You can appreciate that pride for your city, Jalen Rose.
And as I like to say, one shot, one kill, one shining moment.
Coming from the freshman phenom, and it'll be the 1-4 matchup in San Francisco. One look at the freshman in Maryland's one shining moment. The Terps are back in the Sweet 16. Tune into TNT and True TV for live second round games. Coming up on TBS, it is Oregon and Arizona to our studio for Capital One Tournament Central.